So check this out, bro. Now, before we get started, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that notification button, and also hit that subscribe button. Help me get lit, help out the channel, support your boy. Now let's go, no cap. All right, y'all, welcome back to a very interesting topic on AK Assassin TV. Right out the gate, I'm finna let y'all know exactly how did the game got under Kendrick Lamar's skin. This is how the game finally got under Kendrick Lamar's skin. Okay, the game finally crossed the line and made Kendrick Lamar push the button and respond to let the world know that Kendrick Lamar don't mess with the game. Here's exactly how it happened. So check this out. Now in this video, I'm gonna break down how Kendrick Lamar bit the game's bait when he played into the game's game. Now y'all notice how the game been trolling. He been trying to get Kendrick Lamar to respond forever on interviews and on songs. The game was trolling this whole time when he was trying to say, he wonder why Kendrick Lamar is not accepting his calls, and he's cool with Kendrick Lamar. He got the most up respect for Kendrick Lamar, but then he would go on a song and diss Kendrick Lamar subliminally, but anybody with a brain would know that the game is dissing Kendrick Lamar. That whole entire strategy was a follow-up to what just happened. Let me explain. This is where the game crossed the line with Kendrick Lamar, and he set Kendrick Lamar up to respond to him. Remember when Drake said this on 100?
I would have all of your fans if I didn't go poppin', I stayed on some conscious shit.
That alone was 2 strikes. Strike 3 is when the game and YG done their recent verses, and the game said this.
Shout out to the boy. I don't give a fuck how a nigga feel about it. I don't give a fuck how a nigga feel about it. I don't give a fuck how a nigga feel about it. I don't give a fuck how a nigga feel about it.
40.
Now keep in mind, this is a follow-up of the game leaning in on all of the shots that Drake took at Kendrick Lamar off the Iceman album, right? So once the game said what he said at their verses with YG, that struck a nerve in Kendrick Lamar. So on the Company Man's podcast, when he had the dude on there called Stat Quote, and they was live podcasting, and then the dude said that Top Dog called him and let him know when he said this.
That call was about Top was calling me to tell me that when these clips come out, we got to tell the whole. He said, I know you telling the whole story, but you got to tell, it got to be in the clip of the whole story, because he want everybody to understand Dot didn't just stop talking to him for no reason. After that video that dude shot in Compton, that changed everything.
The 100 video.
The 100 video. And I had spoke about that and remember I said that I told Wack and Game about that. And Top thing is like, hey, that gotta be it. It don't need to be perceived that Kendrick stopped talking the game out of nowhere.
Right.
That was the thing that, you know what I'm saying, that did it.
So Kendrick Lamar couldn't take it, bro. He was dealing with too much. He was still dealing with the fact that Drake Swiss cheesed him up off the Iceman album, and then the game is still coming in, leaning in on all of the damage that Drake caused. When he said, shouts out to the boy, I don't give a F how y'all feel. You know what I'm saying? So all of that struck a nerve with Kendrick Lamar. So the game was searching for a reason high and low to get Kendrick Lamar to acknowledge him, doesn't matter good or bad. So all of the shots that the game took at Kendrick Lamar with the subliminals on all of the songs, going through all of the interviews, the game knew that his trump card would work. What better way to get under Kendrick Lamar's skin than to have a special event with the West Coast, with a West Coast versus, and perform the same song that caused the problem, the tension between Kendrick Lamar and the game in the first place, after Drake Swiss cheesed Kendrick Lamar up with the Iceman album. That right there was an overload, and that's how the game made Kendrick Lamar bite the bait by playing into the game's game. No cap. Okay, so y'all remember first y'all pretty much should know the background when Drake went out to LA to do the song 100 with the game, right? in LA, right? He, you know what I'm saying? He did the on Drake on the Game's album. Drake was featured on the Game song 100, right? And on the song, when Drake said this, when Drake said taking shots at Kendrick Lamar, saying, "I would have all of your fans if I didn't go pop and stayed on some conscious shit," which is a great point. So when Drake said that to Kendrick Lamar, that right there was all, and the Game is on the song as well, let alone that Kendrick Lamar gave the Game a feature on that same album. Kendrick Lamar gave the Game a feature too for a song on the same album. So when Drake said, "I would have all of your fans if I didn't go pop and stayed on some conscious shit," when he's telling Kendrick Lamar that with the Game on the song as well in LA, that was already 2 strikes for the Game. That was 2 strikes for the Game right there. And then fast forward to strike 3. Recently, YG and the Game had a West Coast versus, right? And on the West Coast versus, on that verse, in the verses, the Game played the song 100. And this is what he said. This is what he said before he performed the song. So that right there, when the Game said he don't give a F what nobody think. So when the game said he don't give a F what nobody think, that right there pushed the button. That struck a nerve in Kendrick Lamar. That struck a nerve. That right there struck a nerve on Kendrick Lamar. So right after the verses, which was about a week and a half ago, now on the Company Man's podcast, the third, he got a podcast called, what is it called? The Third Verse Podcast. And he had one of the other West Coast dudes named Status Quo, whatever, Stat Quo. Obviously, Kendrick Lamar had TDE, Top Dog, the head of Top Dog Entertainment. Kendrick Lamar had him, obviously, he had him call in to let it be known that he don't rock with the Game. And that right there addressed the elephant in the room. That right there just annihilated, it obliterated all of the lore of everybody saying, all of the rumors, everybody saying, oh, the Game ain't taking shots at Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar ain't taking shots at the Game. They both still rock with each other. Oh, it's cool. No. The Game took shots at Kendrick Lamar throughout his last few songs within the last year or so, his last album. The Game been taking shots at Kendrick Lamar. He literally called Kendrick Lamar out on his last album. He called him out. You know what I'm saying? So as much as Kendrick Lamar kept ignoring the Game, you know what I'm saying? The Game kept trying to get Kendrick Lamar to respond to him. The Game went on Shannon Sharp and I'm sorry, he went on Shay Shay. I'm sorry, Club Shay Shay. You know what I'm saying? The Game was on Club Shay Shay and he answered Shannon straight up quick when Shannon asked him who was the best rapper on the West Coast, and he said he is. So the Game is letting it be known that he is the best rapper on the West Coast. And he's like, if Kendrick Lamar got a problem with it, step up to the challenge. You know what I'm saying? So the Game, he been trying everything in his power to get Kendrick Lamar's attention, to get him to respond. The Game already knows Kendrick Lamar don't rock with me. He's just trolling. He was trolling. The Game was setting Kendrick Lamar up for the bait this whole entire time. He was going on interviews like the Game would throw shots at Kendrick Lamar and have everybody guessing, oh, the Game is dissing. And then he would go on an interview to say everything is cool with Kendrick Lamar. He's trying to call him. He won't answer his phone. The Game already knows that Kendrick Lamar don't rock with him. The Game is not dumb. He wasn't born yesterday. The Game wasn't born yesterday. He just had all of y'all feeding and Kendrick Lamar. He had all of y'all and Kendrick Lamar feeding into the game. That's why he's called the game. Of course he's gonna play games. He's called the game, right? So Kendrick Lamar bit the bait when when he performed at the West Coast Versus with him and YG. When he said, I don't care, when the game said that he's rocking with the boy, he don't give a F how y'all feeling, that struck Kendrick Lamar's nerve. That pressed the button. The game finally got his response from Kendrick Lamar. This is the response that the game been trying to get from Kendrick Lamar forever. And he knew that he would have to probably end up trying his last resort to get Kendrick Lamar's attention. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it took. So it's like when Drake said, I would have all of your fans if I didn't go pop and stayed on some conscious, that right there, that hurt Kendrick Lamar's soul. Because when Drake said it, he said it in Kendrick Lamar's state. He said it in his city. He said it in LA. And Kendrick Lamar know that's true. Kendrick Lamar know that Drake would have his fans if he stayed on some conscious shit. Kendrick Lamar know this. And that's what struck a nerve. That's what struck a nerve because of Kendrick Lamar. That's what struck a nerve because it hurt Kendrick Lamar worse that it came from a LA rapper. Okay? It hurt him worse because it came from a LA rapper. You know what I'm saying? Plus you got Iceman on top of that. I told y'all in one of my earlier videos, Iceman hurt Kendrick Lamar's ego. Okay? It hurt his ego. The game doing his West Coast verses with YG, add on top of that. The game got his response from Kendrick Lamar. He got the response that he been always trying to get from him. You may ignore me through all of my music. You may ignore me with all of my music, but you ain't finna ignore me once I give a shout out to Drake on some LA shit, right? That's strike three. You know what I'm saying? He been giving shouts out to Drake. Just throughout the Drake and Kendrick battle. He tag team, he jumped in for Drake and bodied Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? He bodied Rick Ross, bro. So, like I said, the game, he's feeding, the game basically set Kendrick Lamar up for the trap. He knew that it would take him to mention Drake in the verses after Drake done Swiss cheese Kendrick Lamar up with Iceman. After Drake already hurt Kendrick Lamar's soul with Iceman. And then the cherry on top is when the game have a verses with YG and they don't perform none of Kendrick Lamar's songs, but the game shouts out Drake. You know what I'm saying? And performs the song 100, letting Kendrick Lamar know that he's keeping it 100 with Drake. That's what it took. That pressed the button for Kendrick Lamar. It struck Kendrick Lamar's nerve, and he had Top Dawg finally call in, because Top Dawg is not finna call in and speak on anything about Kendrick Lamar at this magnitude without Kendrick Lamar's consent, okay? Kendrick Lamar called Top Dawg and told him, and he probably called himself. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick Lamar didn't call Stat Quote himself on the Company Man's podcast and tell him it was TDE, but that's neither here or there. The main thing is Kendrick Lamar can't take no more. Drake's Iceman Swiss cheese Kendrick Lamar up. It hurt his soul, and then the game came and finished it off and said, he shouted out Drake on the West Coast verses saying that he don't give a F what y'all talking about. Drake is his homeboy. F what y'all talking about. And that right there struck the nerve. It made Kendrick Lamar finally respond. It made him finally respond to the game. And despite all of the game's music that he took these subliminals at Kendrick Lamar, that didn't work, but the game had his trump card. He know that after Drake done Swiss cheese Kendrick Lamar, softened up that blow, he softened Kendrick Lamar up, and the game he knew right there that he can finish it off. If he shout Drake out, this will get Kendrick Lamar to respond. Kendrick Lamar fell for the okie doke, and the game finally got Kendrick Lamar to break his silence. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna go ahead and keep this show. We're gonna go ahead and keep it like this, you know what I'm saying? Got a lot more episodes coming. I got some backed up episodes that I gotta still drop. I gotta get them out. I got an episode about Lefty Gunplay, you know what I'm saying, who thought he was on some final boss energy when it came to Drake, like he turned down Drake. Y'all remember that, right? When Lefty Gunplay act like he had it like that, like somebody believed that he turned down a Drake feature, and like as if Drake tried to call him. All the BS, man. All that is just some TDE Kendrick Lamar narratives, you know what I'm saying, going on there. Like, I seen some of y'all saying that, Drake wanted to put Lefty Gunplay on the song Too Hard for the Radio to get back at Kendrick Lamar. No, he would have really got at Kendrick Lamar if he would have put The Game on Too Hard for the Radio. But Drake don't need nobody to get at Kendrick Lamar. Drake didn't need no West Coast rapper to get on the song Too Hard for the Radio. Too Hard for the Radio was it served its purpose just the way Drake wanted it to. He didn't want nobody on it. If he wanted some big West Coast person on there, he would have got one. But that ain't what Drake was trying to do, bro. So we ain't gonna play them games. But that episode is coming up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay tuned for that, on top of some more episodes I got about A$AP Rocky and Rihanna. Yeah, I got some episodes already done. I just got to put them together and put them out because I got a lot of other things going on with music and other content, you feel me? But we're going to go ahead and close it down. Keep it like that. Y'all stay tuned to the next episode, you know what I'm saying? Y'all hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and we're going to move it just like that. No cap.